y'all, today we're making sour cream coffee cake muffins. Alright, so what you need is flour, sour cream, eggs at room temperature, vanilla, salt, baking powder, granulated sugar, and also butter. And we're going to use a little bit of that butter for the topping. So you want to go ahead and get started by placing your butter into your mixer, and what we're going to go ahead and do is cream our butter and our sugar together to start. And by the way, we are using room temperature butter for our batter. Alright, there's our sugar. And then you can also use a hand mixer, but I'm just using a stand mixer because it's easier. So I'm going to start it on a little low because of course you don't want the sugar to kick out of the bowl. So just start it low, get it going, and then we'll go ahead and add our ingredients as we go. Okay, and when you have that at a nice blend, you can go ahead and add your vanilla extract in there and just keep it going. Okay, see, we're pretty much creamed together, and so we're going to go ahead and start adding our other ingredients. There's our first egg, and you're going to add your eggs one at a time so you can make sure that each of them get fully incorporated before adding the next one. And of course we're going to add a total of 3, and you see I have it pretty low still because, like I said, you know, we're not in a hurry. We want to make sure that each one of them is blended together well, and we don't want everything kicking out of the bowl. Okay, so we're going to stir this up in a minute because as you can see it's kind of sticking together on the sides of the bowl and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and lift this, y'all. I'm sorry, it had the little drip. No, it's not cute, but we're just gonna keep it moving. So I went ahead and stirred everything together before adding our sour cream, which is next. Okay, so just place that in there. Now I don't have a huge stand mixer, so I couldn't keep it going as I was mixing, but it's really not a big deal. Just add it in here like this and turn it back on. Okay, so our sour cream has been added, and then you just want to return to mixing until everything is incorporated. And as you can see, I went faster here. I sped the video up here, but I also went faster here because there's no dry ingredients. Okay, so you want to go ahead and add the rest of your dry ingredients together, and you want to stir them, and then after you've done that, you can go ahead and add them to your wet ingredients. We just pour all the flour in there at once. You don't have to add a little bit at a time. Just pour it all in there and start the mixing process. And you want to go ahead and just mix this together until it's well blended. Now you do want to make sure that you stir in the sides of your bowl as well, so you have all your flour and everything mixed into your bowl before you take this out and you add it into your muffin pan. Alright, that's how it should look once it's mixed. Alright, so we have our brown sugar, flour, cinnamon, and butter that we're using for our topping. So you have your put all your dry ingredients into the bowl. We're using butter. It's not straight out of the refrigerator, but pretty close. I don't like to take it straight out of the refrigerator and use it, but I do like it to be pretty cold for creating the crumble. I don't take it straight out because then it's kind of hard to cut. But anyway, so just go ahead and mix all your ingredients together, and then we're going to go ahead and cut the butter into the mixture. Okay, but I'm going to show you. See, we cut the butter first. You just want it to be firm. It doesn't have to be super hard, but you do want it to be firm. But you want it to be workable for when you get ready to make your crumble. You don't want to have to be in there forever, you know, depending on how cold your refrigerator is and how cold it gets your ingredients, trying to cut your butter into your batter. So I just cut it down pretty good. It doesn't have to be just, you know, in really tiny pieces, just enough to where it's manageable. All right, so we're just gonna put the butter right into this bowl. And then I'm going to use a fork. You can use a pastry cutter, but what I find with the pastry cutter is that the space in between the metal pieces is a little bit wider than with the fork, so sometimes it can be harder to use to cut the butter into the mix. Now sometimes I do use both because with the fork it takes a little work, but if you just be patient with it, the fork works just fine. but I wouldn't use just a pastry cutter. Just my preference, you know, but regardless, you can use either one. The goal is to get it to the crumble consistency. That's it. All right, so you can see I'm going in here with the fork. You know, I'm just, taking some of the butter off as I go, as I rub it on the bottom of the bowl. I don't know if you caught that, but I rub against the bowl just to get some of the butter off of there, and just keep pressing it into the bowl until these crumbles start to form just like this. Okay, and when it's reached this consistency, then you're ready to go. Just set it to the side. So what we're going to do is go ahead and spray our muffin pan. I'm acting country today. Well, that's nothing new. And get ready to add our mixture into the muffin pan. So I went ahead and used the ice cream scoop. This is just a small ice cream scoop, and just added, just a scoop. Somebody needs to go back and add a little bit more, but just a scoop of the mixture into the muffin pan. So it fills it up, about halfway full or something like that. Y'all, this is a good consistency though. The muffins are going to rise pretty good, but this is a good consistency because as they cool, they settle. So after you have all your mixture into the muffin pan, you want to go ahead and just kind of even it out and flatten it out. Now this recipe makes about let's say about 16 muffins. So I had a little bit batter left over that I went ahead and cooked as well. So depending on how much you fill each section, of course, will depend on how many muffins that you yield and how big your muffin pan is. This is just the average measured muffin pan. Okay, and then you want to go ahead and add your crumble on top just like that. It doesn't have to be, anything in particular. I just tried to make sure that most of the top of the batter was covered with the crumble. Some people call it streusel. I don't call it streusel. To me, that's like what goes on a toaster strudel. I don't know why that's in my mind. So I call it crumble. Okay, and after you have that, you want to pop these in the oven and bake them for 20 minutes. All right, 20 minutes, and then you want to take them and place them on the counter and cool. Okay, so here's 20 minutes later, and as you can see, they spread out. The brown sugar is all on the end. You can take that off. Look, I'm showing you all real life baking. This is not a bakery. I'm a home cook. This is how the muffins look when they come out of the oven. All right, and this is how they look once they're cleaned up. Just clean them up a little bit. That's all. They're good. They're fine. Okay, and I'm going to show you the muffin, of course. Nice and moist. You can also add a little streusel in the mix if you want to. However you want to do it. But as usual, I hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you later.